Good morning, St. Martin. I'm Yesenia Lázaro.
And I'm Alston Lawrence.
And welcome to another edition of St. Martin News Desk.
Brought to you by TV15.
We're bringing the latest and most important stories around the island and beyond.
It's the middle of the week. I know it's hot. But you know what's also hot? These headlines. Let's get into them.
The Joint Court of Justice has confirmed that the draft valuation of the Mullet Bay property in St. Martin is now complete, marking a key step in the civil proceedings against former NEA stakeholders, including ex-owner Hushang Ansari. Mullet Bay, once a popular golf resort and timeshare destination, is central to assessing the legitimacy of large dividend payments made by NEA's parent company, Parman International, in which Ansari held 77% stake. A court-appointed valuation expert, Greg Becker, from Colliers in Florida, submitted his draft report in April. The final version will be completed after all parties provide their written responses. This valuation plays a vital role in determining the extent of financial mismanagement at NEA, which led to a provisional 2023 ruling that found Ansari liable for nearly $143 million in damages. That ruling, which followed an appeal from a 2021 verdict, covered donations to personal causes, payments to fake staff, and use of private jets, but did not include the dispute value of Mullet Bay. Becker was appointed after the court rejected a request by NEA to challenge their earlier decisions in the case. Once the final report is in, parties will again have a chance to respond and explain other excessive expenses. The court estimates that the written exchange should wrap up by this fall. A hearing may follow, with a final judgment expected by the end of this year.
In a push to tie cultural identity with economic growth, the Minister of Tourism, Economic Affairs, Traffic and Telecommunication recently met with the St. Martin Carnival Development Foundation to solidify plans for a long-term partnership focused on Carnival 2026 and beyond. The minister praised the success of Carnival 2025 as both a cultural celebration and economic engine, noting it drew large crowds and boosted local business. Carnival is not only our most unifying cultural event, it is also a critical economic engine, the minister said. Despite criticisms about investing in international events like the Soul Beach Music Festival, the minister argued that promoting both local and international festivals is part of a larger plan to boost tourism during the off-season and stretch the high season. She said this strategy would make room for international events to enhance rather than eclipse homegrown traditions. The draft agreement with SCDF includes coordinated scheduling, co-branding, improved safety, better visitor hospitality, and smart tech integration. These steps aim to make Carnival a sustainable part of the island's cultural and economic life. President of the SCDF, Eduardo Rajuki, welcomed the collaboration, crediting the minister's support for the success Carnival 2025. He emphasized the need to maintain momentum through outside-the-box thinking and consistent government backing, especially as the 55th edition approaches. The partnership will also explore new tourism tools like cruise harbor tour integration and package event travel deals to raise Carnival's international profile. With this strategy, officials hope to prove that cultural investment isn't just about celebration. It's a deliberate path to economic strength and national pride. On May 1st, the Law Enforcement Council delivered its 2024 State of Law Enforcement Report to Parliament and the Minister of Justice, urging immediate joint action to address rising crime and systematic weaknesses across the justice chain. The Council emphasized that St. Martin's law enforcement remains vulnerable due to resource shortages, the island's dual nation structure, and rising tide of juvenile delinquency. It called for a fully integrated cross-ministerial and even cross-border chain approach based on 4 pillars: prevention, capacity, cooperation, and protection. Repression alone isn't enough, the council stated. What we need is coordinated and future-proof action. It pointed to youth crime trends where more serious offenses are being committed at younger ages and advocated for holistic, long-term intervention. Human security and judicial integrity were also highlighted. The report calls for investment in staffing, working conditions, and mental health, noting that justice personnel remain underpaid, overburdened, and essential to public trust and the fight against corruption. While police cooperation among Kingdom partners showed success, forensic care partnerships still lack measurable results. The council also criticized Parliament and the Ministry of Justice for failing to respond consistently to its past reports, an ongoing issue it says must be corrected. In a parallel development, Parliament had convened a public meeting yesterday, Tuesday, May 20th, to address the worsening crime situation, the dire state of Point Blanche Prison, and the overall fragility of the Ministry of Justice. The session was requested by MPs Otley, LaCruz, and Lewis, and did include deliberations with the Minister of Justice. The Council's full 2024 report for St. Martin, Curaçao, and the Caribbean Netherlands is now available in both Dutch and English at www.raadrh.com.
On May 13th, members of the Council of Ministers and Emergency Support Function coordinators toured the humanitarian vessel MV Dawn, docked in St. Martin from May 12th to 14th. Operated by Global Support Development, GSD, the ship is equipped for 21-day missions providing logistical aid, water delivery, and data collection for disaster response. The tour aimed to strengthen collaboration between St. Martin and GSD, a U.S.-based nonprofit that partners with local disaster response professionals throughout the Caribbean. Launched in 2023, the MV Dawn forms part of GSD's broader mission to support small island developing states, SIDS, in preparing for and responding to climate and disaster-related emergencies. GSD works across the Caribbean, Central America, and the South Pacific, regions highly vulnerable to climate impacts. Officials discussed the potential for future partnerships to enhance disaster readiness on the island through shared resources, knowledge exchange, and support for locally driven preparedness initiatives.
Let's put everything on the table. People always give their opinion, and you can either take it or crunch it. Let them judge. We give in to the most irresistible flavor. We devour every nugget that falls in our hands. especially when it's our crunchy fried chicken. And let the crumbs fly if needed. Let them keep judging. We'll keep indulging. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Hello, my people. Make sure you tune in to Sit, Sip, and Chat every Monday at 5 p.m. on TV 15 and every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m.
And make sure tune in to the Late Night Show with Andrew Dick from Monday to Friday at 10 p.m. with a repeat in the afternoon for no reason. In the afternoon, the Late Night Show at 3 p.m. Thank you, TV 15.
Thank you, TV 15. Make sure tune in.
Make sure tune in to the Late Night.
And Sit, Sip, and Chat.
Late Night.
In observance of Mental Health Awareness Month 2025, and under the theme, It's Okay Not to Be Okay, the Spectrum Support Box, in collaboration with Minister of VSA, the Honorable Grisha, has launched the Connected Parenting Series, a 4-week interactive workshop tailored for parents and caregivers of children with special needs. Beginning June 12th, the weekly sessions at the government building will focus on practical strategies for behavior management, emotional regulation, and building stronger family connections. Designed for families with young children or those needing extra support, the sessions also promote caregiver well-being and resilience. Participants will gain effective communication tools and insights into developmental challenges, with a certificate of completion awarded at the end. The details are as follows. The start date is June 12th, 2025. Scheduling on Thursdays from 6:30 to 8 p.m. The deadline for registration is June 6th, 2025. Will be held all at the Government Administration Building. To register, go to www.tssboxconsultancy.com. Minister Burke urged community participation, stating, "This initiative gives parents tools to cope and support one another as we build a more resilient society." Spots are limited, so early registration is advised.
Princess Juliana International Airport has officially signed a long-term concession agreement with ExecuJet, granting the global aviation leader full responsibility for managing and operating the airport's fixed-base operator terminal, FBO. The signing ceremony took place on May 15th at the airport's management offices and is being hailed as a strategic step forward in enhancing the island's luxury travel services. ExecuJet, a subsidiary of the Lux Aviation Group, will provide premium services including ground handling, fueling, and hang garage to private and business aviation clients. The agreement positions PJIA as the future Caribbean hub of ExecuJet's expanding FBO network. Princess Juliana Commercial Director Michelle Perrette stated, "ExecuJet brings an unparalleled level of professionalism and aligns perfectly with our vision for elevating the airport experience." Patrick Hansen, CEO of Lux Aviation and ExecuJet Group, said his team in St. Martin is committed to delivering exceptional service for high net worth travelers, while Gary Foster, Managing Director of ExecuJet Caribbean, called the deal a major milestone in the company's regional expansion. Princess Juliana International Airport CEO Michael Cleaver concluded, "This is more than a business agreement. It's a shared commitment to excellence and innovation. We're confident ExecuJet will help elevate our services and enhance St. Martin's appeal in the luxury travel market." The St. Martin Small Properties Association, SMSPA, raised concerns at the 2025 Labor Symposium about unregulated competition threatening small, family-run hotels and local businesses that form the backbone of the economy. SMSPA represents over 140 rooms and stressed that small businesses make up 80 to 85% of the economy, driving jobs and supporting the community. Unlicensed operators who avoid taxes and labor laws undercut these businesses by offering lower prices, creating unfair competition and making it harder for compliant hotels to survive. Rising costs and unstable labor conditions hurt small hotels and the wider local economy, as these businesses also support nearby services and create jobs. SMSPA urges fair enforcement of laws, better access to resources and financing, and stronger public-private partnerships to support sustainable tourism and local jobs. We're not asking for handouts, just a fair playing field, said SMSPA Treasurer Gianna Dupersoy. SMSPA President Nzinga Lake added, supporting small businesses means protecting our people and preserving our island's future.
The St. Martin Carnival Development Foundation has officially opened the expression of interest period for promoters to host concerts nights at Carnival Village during Carnival 2026. Interested promoters must submit proposals by June 1st, 2025, including music genre and event experience. SCDF emphasizes quality, encouraging promoters to design well-paced shows that gives artists ample time to connect with audiences, addressing feedback from Carnival 2025, where crowded lineups led to rushed performances. Meanwhile, Koiman St. Martin made a vibrant debut at 2025 Carnival, sponsoring extra seating areas called Koiman Link-Up Corners and launching the first ever Koiman Booth Holders competition. The contest recognized outstanding creativity and cultural expression among Carnival Village booths. The top prize went to Vibes Can Done, led by Norris and Narissa Richards, praised for their cultural richness and design. Koiman also produced a documentary on the evolution of Carnival Village booths, shown online and at the Festival Village. SCDF has also launched a public survey to gather feedback on Carnival 2025 and suggestions for Carnival 2026. The survey invites all attendees, vendors, and revelers to share their experiences and ideas to help improve the festival's quality and planning. SCDF President Eduardo Rajuki stressed that Carnival belongs to the people and urged everyone to participate, reinforcing the Foundation's commitment to transparency and community-driven growth. For promoters interested in the 2026 concert expression of interest, or for those wanting to complete the public survey, more details are available on the St. Martin Carnival Facebook page.
The deadline to submit 2024 income tax return forms A and B has been extended to June 30th, 2025. Invitations are being sent by regular mail. If you don't receive one, you must request it. Forms are available online at the Government of St. Martin's website. Taxpayers must submit forms in person at the Tax Administration Office located in the Vineyard Building. Online or email submissions are not accepted. For proof of submission, bring a copy to be stamped. Taxpayers who need an extension must request it before June 30th, 2025.
Guess what? I got an idea. It's amazing. You see how we have the link sharing all everywhere?
QR link,
the
yeah.
QR link?
Yeah.
Raw Caribbean Channel app. Yeah. You're welcome. Put it in the back.
But it's not an app, though. It's not an app. App, you have to like download something to get it on your phone, take up space. It's not an app.
It's like an app. Therefore, it can be an app. So, it's an app. Raw Caribbean TV app. Say it with me, Al. Come on.
It's not an app, though. All you got to do with that, it's a link. You take the link, you hit the bookmark, you say, add to home screen, and so it shows up like an app icon, but it's not an app, though.
Are you a real person? It is an app because you get to watch all the programs from Raw Caribbean at one place. It is an app.
I don't know how to explain this to you, but factually and technically, it's not an app. Kind of like we do the news, facts,
Yeah.
and you do that thing you do. Whoa. Point being, you just go to the QR, you hit bookmarks, and you hit add to home screen, and then you can have the link to, let's give it another name.
The app.
You want to call it the app?
Raw Caribbean TV app.
Jess.
Yes.
Jess, please, give some sense, Jess. Jess.
It's kind of like an app.
That's why she gets the big bucks.
It's not an app, though. It's not a app. What the It's not a app.
Because your mother with her mouth. My God. Watch Raw Caribbean TV app.
Watch our Caribbean TV app.
Yes.
It's not an app, though.
Greta Rodney Thompson, a dedicated teacher, cultural advocate, and social entrepreneur, has generously donated her newly published children's book, The Johnny Cake Delivery, to the St. Martin Library and the wider community. This vibrant picture book introduces young readers to the island's unique French-Dutch cultural blend through colorful illustrations and an engaging story. It combines lessons in math, language, and community values, making learning fun and culturally meaningful. Originally inspired by Rodney Thompson's great-grandmother, the book celebrates family heritage and togetherness. Opening with the nostalgic phrase, "Mama's making Johnny cake," the story follows a young boy delivering this beloved treat around the community while practicing subtraction, number words, and recognizing iconic island landmarks. The donation supports the St. Martin Library's mission to promote literacy and lifelong learning. Library Representative S. Richardson warmly accepted the book, which will soon be available to the public as a valued addition to its educational and cultural collection. Through efforts like this, the library continues to be a vital hub for education and cultural preservation on the island.
Nearly 1 year ago, on International Plastic Free Day 2024, Perpetual Plastics, a plastic recycling social workspace under the EPIC Foundation, officially opened its doors. To celebrate its first anniversary, Perpetual Plastics is hosting an artisanal market on Saturday, May 24th from 4 to 7 p.m. at 125 Union Road, Coal Bay. The market will feature local vendors offering sustainable products including soaps, candles, locally made food and drinks, farm goods, plants, second-hand items, recycled and upcycled crafts, and more. Visitors can also take a tour of the workspace and learn about the organization's recycling efforts. Following the success of a pre-season market last November, this event highlights how individuals, businesses, and foundations can make a positive environmental, social, and cultural impact. Vendors at the market embody these values through their unique creations. A few vendor slots remain open. Interested parties can contact Perpetual Plastics via WhatsApp at 1-721-580-5240 or email perpetualplastics@epicislands.org. Join the celebration of a more sustainable and creative future at this community-driven event. The Le Fruit de Mer Association is celebrating the release of updated versions of its popular wildlife books, Wild Things, Animals of St. Martin, and its French counterpart, La Côte Sauvage. The free launch event will take place on Saturday, May 24th from 9 a.m. to noon at a Museum Naturalis at the Old House, French Quarter. Thanks to funding from Foundation Air France, attendees will receive free copies of the beautifully illustrated books, which feature vibrant photos and the latest scientific information about St. Martin's unique wildlife. The books were updated to be more accessible and engaging for readers of all ages. Created as part of the Island of Discovery project supported by Foundation Air France, these second editions complement the exhibits at a museum naturalis. The foundation also funded activity books for student groups visiting the museum, supporting education across both sides of the island. We're excited to share these new editions, said author Mark Yokoyama. They include updated discoveries and are easier to read, so everyone can enjoy them. Le Fruit de Mer President Jen Yerxes expressed gratitude to Foundation Air France for making the project possible and inviting the public to the launch event. The foundation has supported thousands of projects worldwide since 1992, focusing on educational, environmental, and humanitarian initiatives. Free copies of the books will be available at the launch, and digital versions can be downloaded for free at lefruitdemer.com. Physical copies are also for sale worldwide on Amazon.com. Join the celebration at a museum naturalis this Saturday and discover the fascinating wildlife of St. Martin.
The 7 to 1 Kids Foundation fights for vulnerable children, those with special needs and families facing financial struggles. Through afternoon school programs, summer camps, mentoring, and a safe children's home, they create spaces where children can learn, play, and grow. Without this support, many children miss out on crucial guidance and care. Their mission is simple: give every child the tools for a brighter future. 7 to 1 Kids is proud to be nominated for the Appalachia Van Orania Awards by the Orania Funds, and they need your vote to win. How to vote? Just visit appalachiavanorania.nl/7 to 1 Kids. That's all the time we have for today's edition of St. Martin News Desk.
Thank you for joining us. Remember, new episodes premiere every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. on TV 15. After that, on social media platforms and all Alexa devices globally. I'm Alston Lawrence.
And I'm just saying the last wishing you an amazing week. See you next time.
Stay friendly. St. Martin.
St. Martin.